Hi, how is everybody doing today on this fine Thursday afternoon? I'm doing well, but I'm not gonna lie, the baby is on my bladder now. It is that time of pregnancy that she's just sitting there, and we'll see if we can get through the live stream without having to make an interruption. I'm just kidding, we'll be fine. But yeah, 34 weeks pregnant, you definitely start feeling that pain and discomfort associated with pregnancy. I feel like I'm feeling it more than I ever have with any of the other kids. And I'm pretty sure it's because it's a girl this time and not a boy. My boys were really low maintenance. Hey Jane, how are you doing today? Glad you're here. So this little girl is already giving me a run for my money. My body's hurting, and I'm having to really counteract those pains with different things such as walking. I really believe that a lot of pain associated with pregnancy comes from being out of balance. And so doing balancing exercise, not balancing like standing on one foot, but body balancing exercises has been really helpful. Another thing that's helped me is taking magnesium. If I don't take my magnesium, my mineral supplement, I get Charlie horses. Those really hurt. I get them in the middle of the night, and if I get one, I know I forgot to take my supplement. It's just that that's all I have to do to avoid that. So, if it's that easy, might as well. Another thing is I'm trying to stay super hydrated, because not being hydrated for my body makes me have a headache, and being hydrated, like, I feel less tired and lethargic. So yeah, it's just staying on top of those things before they actually happen. Elizabeth asks, can you do a nursery tour? So we're super minimalistic in our house, so we actually have never had a nursery. We've always co-slept with our babies, and we have like a little corner of, an area for them, but I've never ever had a changing table. I've never had a crib, so sorry, it would be pretty boring. Here's the baby corner. And is that Lisa that I saw in here? How are you doing? But yeah, staying one step ahead of those pains. Another thing I would recommend is Epsom salt baths. That's for anybody who's experiencing that muscle soreness. That's been super helpful. But obviously in pregnancy, they caution against super hot baths, so be aware of the temperature of your bath. But yeah, so that's what I'm doing. And stay tuned. Somebody requested a video about like alignment exercises for pregnancy. So I'm actually going to be shooting that, and I'll have a bonus video this week, which will be an exercise video for aligning the pelvis and for optimal fetal positioning. So that'll be coming. I have a lot of fun stuff to talk about today. And I want to get your feedback on this. I want you to leave me comments, because some of these things everybody's going to feel differently about. And I want to know how you feel about these topics. So, but before we get into those, changing table, do you mean the blanket on the bed, couch, carpet? Exactly. Yeah, I have one of those changing mats that come with your diaper bag, and I pretty much use that wherever I need to use it. Yeah. So super minimalistic over here. It is what it is. I want to ask if any of you are pregnant, or if you ever have been, did you ever eat dates in the last trimester of pregnancy? I heard about this from a friend, and she talked about dates being my sister is on here. Everyone say hello to Clarissa, and she is making some funny jokes. Thanks, Claire. This was a good laugh. So dates actually have vitamin K, potassium, iron, magnesium, folate, fiber, and protein. I didn't realize they were so power packed. And that is just, it's cool in and of itself. But apparently there were all these studies done that women that ate dates during pregnancy actually had riper cervixes when they arrived at the hospital. They were less likely to, yeah, I didn't know they had protein either. That was a new one to me. It's probably like a tiny amount, but still. They were less likely to need to be induced. They just had all these benefits. So I'm like, hey, if it doesn't hurt, like, might as well. I don't know how reputable all these studies are, of course, but 77% had a shorter first stage of labor. Hey, why not? Oh, Luna bar dates. Yes, there's so many protein bars, or even what are those ones, the Whole30 bars. It's on the tip of my tongue. The ones that are allowed on the Whole30, I forgot. But those are actually super healthy, and they're just dates and nuts. So I can see that being a really good pregnancy snack. Yeah, lower rates of cesarean section, less likely to use Pitocin to induce. I said that one already. Yeah, and 68% more likely to have a successful vaginal delivery after induction. So why not? So there's two kinds of dates. There's medjool dates, and there's I don't even know what the other one's called. The other one is called deglet dates. So the deglets are the little ones, and the medjools are like the really big, juicy ones. So the recommended amount of dates to eat is 70 to 75 grams per day. So with the deglet, that comes out to about 6 a day, and then the medjool, you only need 3. So I'll probably start upping my date consumption next week, since I'm only 34 weeks pregnant, and I've already been having some like early labor symptoms, so I don't really want to like push that in overdrive necessarily. But so maybe next week, we'll start next week. But I love dates, they're so yummy. Medjool are like candy, absolutely, I agree. I love them. They're so sweet, and yet as I was reading about them, these women didn't show worse blood sugar levels than the women that weren't eating them. Again, I don't know how controlled the blood sugar correlation is, but that's so cool to me that it's something that tastes so candy-like may not be as damaging on blood sugar levels. But again, I'm not an expert on dates, but just thought I'd share a little bit about them. They're pretty cool. Okay, so now let's talk about some controversial things, and please give me feedback. And if you don't agree with me, it doesn't hurt my feelings, because these are just, every family chooses, their thing. So let's start with kids at birth. So I grew up, I saw all of my siblings being born, and that was a cool experience for me. I don't feel like it negatively impacted me, and in fact, it just made me all that more in awe and appreciative of the birth room, I suppose. But now I have 3 little boys, and our oldest one asked if he could be at the birth. And I had never considered that before, because we never really crossed that bridge yet. He's old enough to have reason about it. So I actually had to start thinking about it. Is this an appropriate thing to include a little boy in? Is this something that's for little girls only, or should children not be included at all? And so I just started thinking about that topic, and I had never really thought about it much before. So of course the kids have seen me in labor, because we've done home births and birth center births. So I've kind of given them the lowdown on what that looks like. This is mommy having a contraction, and we practice. And when you push a couch across the living room, try that. And then they push the couch, and they're going, ooh, it's hard. And so I explained to them, but are you okay? You're fine, right? Just like mommy when she's having a contraction. So we've been through that kind of practice where they know that it's hard, but it doesn't mean that mommy is in danger. But we've never ever included them in the actual like pushing the baby out part. So anyway, after discernment and prayer and all that, I just decided that we will not be including them in that part of it. The one who asked if he could be a part of it, he's 8 years old, and it just, I don't know, something just didn't quite feel right about that, especially with my husband having a different background. He grew up very much removed from the birth room, and so just for our family it didn't feel right, but we decided that he could come to the birth center with us and they have a living room area, and if he wanted to, he could be there. That way he can see the baby right away. Yeah, so that's what we came to, but it was, yeah, I want to know your experiences with children in the birth room. My midwife said that it can be a frightening experience for children if they're not prepared for what they're gonna see. And I think proper preparation can bring about a really neat experience for families, and if that's right for their family. But for our family, it just didn't really feel quite right. And then when I told my son my idea to have him at the birth center, but not actually, for the birth, he said, yeah, I like that better, Mama. So he actually maybe didn't even know what he really wanted anyway. So that's what we came to. But again, yeah, leave me in the comments below what your experience with children in the birth room is. Boys, girls, is there like a no way, no how? I don't even know, do they allow that in hospitals? I don't think a lot of hospitals allow children in the birth room. So many of you may not have even had the opportunity to explore that question. I don't really know. Okay, so now that we're we're on another topic, men in the birth room. I'm gonna tell you a story just because it's funny now, because we're on the other side of it. But a few weeks ago, my husband and I were talking, and he let me know that he had a job opportunity come up on my due date. And then he said, so should I take it? And I just kind of looked at him a little perplexed, and I said, well, you can take it, but know that you may not be able to keep it. So it should be a tentative thing, right? And he said, okay. He said, but why wouldn't I be able to keep it? And so then we got to talking a little more. I said, well, if I'm in labor, I'm gonna want your support, and I'm gonna need you to be available to me on that day. And I was just a little bit confused by this conversation because he's been so supportive every single birth. And so it was really confusing to me that he was even tabling this idea of working instead of being at the birth. And so I asked him very bluntly, I said, okay, would you skip the birth? You're gonna think badly of my husband, but listen to this whole story. Would you skip the birth of your first child for money, for making some money? And he said, yes, absolutely. And he was dead serious. And I was just shocked. So, and a little bit like offended by this, like, because to me, birth is just this amazing experience. It's just, what's the word I'm looking for? It's just this mind-blowing, like, makes me feel so close to God experience. And here he is, like, putting a job kind of at the same level as birth, and I was just totally shocked. And this was brand new to me. But spoiler alert, he is not taking the job. Okay, but just so you don't get all upset. But it forced us to have a conversation that we never had before. And what came of that conversation is I realized that a lot of men, because I talked to other men about this after my eyes were opened. A lot of men don't have the same experience that women have in the birth room. It's not this supernatural, like, whoa experience, because they're a supporting role. You know, they can help the woman to an extent, but really the woman's the one who has to go through it. And I think that can be challenging for some men, or almost unappealing. Like, what's the point? I'm here to serve, and how can I serve? Versus the intrinsic value of birth itself. Are you guys following me, or am I just a weirdo that puts birth on a pedestal? So, but that was really interesting to me, and just to realize that the thing he values so much is supporting me, and he would not put my preference for that support above a job. But the intrinsic value of birth that I thought existed in his head didn't exist. And that was really eye-opening for me. And it should be obvious, because men and women are different. But it just completely passed me by. And I'm not saying all men are like my husband, but I think more men are like that than I realized after interviewing a couple of men, and it was just kind of interesting. And knowing the difference in men and women can help us support each other and be there for one another and make each other feel more comfortable. So maybe this is why it took men so long to enter the birth room in history, because, like, what do they really feel like they needed to be there for? I don't know. I've heard from some men that they really don't feel like they start bonding with their child till they're a little older and they have more recognition, or they can do things. Versus a woman, it's immediate, or, you know, sometimes it doesn't happen so organically, but that bond, like, I feel bonded to this baby in my body already. I haven't even met her. So it is different, and that's a no duh, right? But it was very eye-opening for me. Gave me a new perspective. So tell me your stories about your husbands and fathers in the birth room, because I just think this is a topic that I just never really occurred to me before. Let's see. I missed a comment or two. Let's see. Where? Okay. I ate dates and found it very helpful for a faster labor. Oh, that's fantastic. Good to know. Okay. I never thought about it, like, from their perspective of being a support role, how it might be different for them. Interesting and insightful. I hadn't thought of it either. And again, it should have been a no duh, but oh well, I'm in my own world. Maybe there's some fear there for your welfare and the baby's health. Yeah, that too. It's like they are so helpful. A lot of men, like, they want to be service oriented, but it's out of their hands, and that must be really hard to, especially when you're a man, to just kind of let go and let nature take its course to, you know, someone you love, particularly. Crazy. Okay, let's see. All right, yeah, I am just pushing, right? We had a baby shower recently. It was so good. I didn't have a baby shower for the last baby, because, you know, as our third boy, we had everything. And now we have the essentials, the stroller, the car seat, all that. But we really didn't have any girl clothes. So that was super, super duper fun. And my sisters and brother put it on and made me feel super special. It was just a lot of fun. But something that it made me think of, like, as I'm going through these girl clothes, I got some hand-me-downs too, and I've been organizing them, is that shopping for girls is very different than shopping for boys, which we know that already, but I didn't realize that it went all the way down to the baby level. Like, it's both in fashion, there's more accessories for girls. There's tights and bows and things that I just hadn't considered on my radar. But also the fashion of it. They, how do I say this? There's some clothes that just, we've seen it in adult fashions, but for example, like a crop top. I've seen crop top baby outfits, and I don't know why they just don't put the rest of the fabric on it. Like, it's so frustrating. Like, I'm not gonna, I don't know. It's just, to me, kind of irritating. Or, yeah, just the fashion of it, not, I don't know how to say this. But I guess the modesty of it, like the immodesty goes all the way down to the baby level. And that can be cute too. I'm not saying babies have to be covered from head to toe. I'm not promoting that. You can watch my modesty video if you want my 2 cents. But it's just something that you have to look out for. Like, oh, here's a cute little shirt. Oh, it's backless. Or whereas boys' clothes, it's so simple. T-shirts, shorts, pants, done. You know, maybe you get a vest in there or something. So I need your recommendations on where you shop for your little girl clothes, because I'm clueless. I don't really know. But yeah, I think, oh, I almost forgot to make my little announcement. And that is that I have been hard at work on the academic year Catholic Home Planner, and that is coming out July 1st-ish, first week in July. But I will be opening pre-orders up next week, and the planner will be on my Etsy shop for super discounted. So if you want to take advantage of the special price, that'll be next week. I'm so excited to share this planner with you because it's just even better than last year's. It's I've got more feast days, I've got ember days, I've got vigils and novenas. Like, I put a lot of heart into this one, and not that I didn't on the first one, I definitely did. But I wanted this one to just take it to the next level, and I hope you guys like it, because yeah, it's coming next week and I can't wait. It runs from August 2019 all the way to December 2020. So it's a 17-month planner. For our family, we're homeschoolers and my husband's a teacher, so we really do run on the academic year. I think a lot of moms kind of run on the academic year when they have school-aged kids. So it just made a lot of sense for me to reset in August, and so that will be available. And I just wanted to announce it here. That way, I'll put my link in the description box later. That way you can have the link for the pre-sale price. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this live stream as much as I enjoyed hanging out with you. Are there any other questions before we close out, or comments or anything? My favorite is the interaction that live streams allow. That's so fun to me, because it's fun to come on here and talk at you, but it's so much more fun when, like, it's two-way, and I think YouTube's really cool to be able to allow for that. Let's see. Okay.